What is up, internet world, and welcome back to Accelerate. I'm Mike Van Hout, and this is the all-new Porsche 911 992 Carrera T. And if you don't know what the T is, it is manual transmission. It is lighter. It is designed for enthusiasts because no longer can you get an automatic transmission with a Carrera T. It is solely sold for 2025 in manual transmission. And I'm here in San Diego, California to look and drive the all-new T and the S. And look at this thing. Now, in all seriousness, this is a beautiful helicopter, and it's owned by Jamie, and she was kind enough to let me film in front of it. Film the all-new 911 Carrera T, the 992.2. This is called Air Panther, and if you want to feast your eyes on it, you can find it on Instagram. So the helicopter is cool and all, but we're here for the 911T. Now, what's interesting is 70% of all 911T buyers from last year bought manual transmissions, which is why they've gone down the path of getting rid of the automatic and focusing solely on manual transmissions when it comes to the T. The other thing is, last year's model had 7-speed, 7 gears. This one has 6. I found a nice, calm, quiet space where I can film this Carrera T, away from the helicopters and the crazy roads. This Carrera T now has turbos from a GTS. It has intercoolers from a turbo, and that bumps the horsepower by 8 to 388. Now, this Carrera T weighs 3,350 pounds. Last year, you could not get a convertible. It is new for 2025. Last year, you could get automatic. Now you can only get manual transmission. So if you want a manual transmission convertible, and you want it to be lightweight, and you want it to be exciting with not a lot of stuff, the Carrera T is for you. So let's talk about in the physical. These are the HD matrix headlights, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4 DRLs to give it that spooky look when you're approaching somebody from the back. You've got the Porsche logo. This is not the Turbo Knight. This is the authentic Porsche logo. Now, there's a story about a napkin on Mr. Porsche when he was in the steakhouse in New York. You've got to watch the S video to understand what that's about. Underneath here, you have the Deutschland front plate because this car has been brought in for Germany, especially for us to drive here in San Diego. Underneath here, you have your radars, which are pretty obvious. They're centered in the car, which I like, not to the side like some other German product. Moving around the corner here, you will see that you have a lower skirt or valance that comes down. This is sort of a hard plastic, so it can take a little bit of a beating. Moving along the side, you have clear side indicators. And then, of course, you have your gas tank right there. This one has an 84-liter tank, I might add. Now, as far as wheels go, these are 20s. These are 245, 35, 20. They are a titanium finish. They're gray, and they have this little lip on the inside. It's kind of cool, very retro. That is cool. And these roads are so fun. Oh my God. 388 horsepower, second gear. On the brakes. Wow, these brakes are really good. What's interesting is this, though. This morning, I had the new Carrera S, and now I have the Carrera T. Now, the Carrera T came first, and then the Carrera S in terms of being able to drive it, feel it out, all kind of stuff. Now, moving along the side, these mirror caps are in sort of a gray metallic silver with a 360 camera hiding underneath. Now, I can see the inside because, of course, this is a convertible, and I like all the plaid on the inside. This is awesome. This look is so cool. You guys really have to see this interior. But first, I got to talk about the back rims and tires. These are 305, 30, 21s. They're staggered setup, 19s in the front, 20s in the front, 21s in the back. And you can see how wide body this is. You really notice that when you're driving the vehicle and you see the sides and you're like, wow, these hips are really, really wide. Now, moving along to the back, yes, all cabrios are gonna sit higher right here. This is where the top sits, and it's got this little inlet here to cool the motor along with this right here. Now, this is no different than the 992. Again, not much change here. You have a center brake light there, 1, 2, it's nice and bright. Then you have a retractable spoiler that goes up based on speed, and then you have a center bar light on the back here along with the Porsche logo underneath. Now the Porsche logo is not illuminated, and then you have the 911 Carrera T right there. Just letting everybody know you drive a T in case the one on the side isn't big enough. From there, moving down, you do have a rear view camera, and then of course you have your exhaust. And then that's it. Now to show the interior. But what I am completely noticing though is the brakes on this are from the last year's generation Carrera S. So what that means is last year's model, the S, those brakes are on this T. And last year's GTS's brakes are on this year's Carrera S. But the crazy part is that this car has 4,000 miles and these brakes feel more grabby. S I drove this morning, and it's probably because it hasn't been broken in. That car has 1,000 miles. This car has 4,000 miles. But these brakes feel better. Weird. Feel better than the S, aka the old GTS, last year's GTS. But this definitely makes less power. You can feel this base motor. So good. So this transmission has some changes. Even though it's missing one full gear from last year, the gearbox cables and bushings come from a 911 GT3. Not the transmissions, just the gearbox cable and the bushings, which is why when you're sitting at a traffic light and you're doing one of these, it feels very solid. There's basically no play. It is hard to go left and right and shake it when you're sitting at a traffic light. When you're driving though, man, the shifts are smooth, they're tight, they lock in when you place it into the gear you need. Oh, and that rev matching is just so good. Oh, man, what a car. What a car. Oh, man. I just love convertibles. Convertibles to me are the essence of life. Oh, I love convertibles. If you're a cabrio guy or a spider guy, man, I have to come down here for you guys to see me, but it is worth it down here in cabrio land. Oh. All right, that was fun. Welcome to the interior. You now have a 12.6-inch driver's display that has no analog gauge to it whatsoever. You can change the way this display looks. So for now, I have this 5 circles, and these circles tell me on the left side my engine oil temperature, the speed I'm driving, the tach I am revving to, the speed in the middle, how much fuel mileage I have underneath it, your trip computer, and then of course your engine coolant computer along with what drive mode you're in, all here. But yes, there's no physical tach anymore. It is gonzo. Bye-bye. Anyways, we'll talk about the rest of it in a moment. Let's talk about this door panel. Whoever ordered this car loves blue and put blue in all the right places. The seat belts, the stitching on the steering wheel, the stitching on the seats, blue on the outside of the car, blue on all the chrono package, the display over here, the trim. There's blue everywhere, but it's a nice blue. Also a really interesting choice of wood shifter, but I think it's funky, unique, and I applaud the person that ordered this car. I like it. Anyways, door panel time. This door panel has basically no plastic, and I love that about Porsche. They hide all their plastic with a material, and most manufacturers should do that, but they don't. This one has stitching across the top, 3 increments of memory seat, plaid on the actual panel just to match the seat in the center. I'm able to put all my windows up and down, including these little guys behind me. When I close the door, I get this nice solid thump. The Bose speaker does not vibrate in it. I do have enough space to put in a decent sized bottle. Anyways, to the dash. There is no heads-up display, but I do have this little crest that comes up that gives me enough visibility to my 12.6-inch screen here. There's a start and stop button. It is kind of plain. I would probably pump that up if I were you, Porsche. Then, of course, your light switches are there. If you do want to pop the frunk and pop the trunk, they are right here. The trunk is really just the engine cover. It is not a trunk in the back because it's a Porsche. The engine is in the back. As far as this 10.6-inch display goes, it does have Apple CarPlay. And because this is a European spec'd car, or this car is from Europe, we have no North American maps, which is why I'm using Apple Maps and American Apple Maps to plug in this car, and it hasn't got me lost since, or yet. So that's good. And then I have a performance button. When I hit it, I get a few interesting things. Number 1,
tires is spelt with a Y. Number 2, it also tells me how much brake and accelerator pedal I'm using, so that's kind of cool. And finally, when I hit the drive button, it tells me how much torque, and when I slide my finger over, it tells me how much power I have in kilowatts as far as being applied, with my foot. The steering wheel, like I mentioned, has blue stitching. It does have the Porsche cool crested logo right there. This drive mode in a T does not have a sport response button. It simply just has drive modes. Yep. When I turn it, I have wet, normal, sport, and sport plus. Similar to the S, except the S has one extra little red button here I could hit for the extra jamboree. These seats are excellent, just like the S. It does have leg extenders. Even though this is plaid, it's hard to see a plaid stitch like this that actually leg extends, especially when it's cloth. When I see leather, I'm like, it's got leg extensions, but cloth? Thumbs up, Porsche. Everything else is fairly standard when it comes to this 911 center console. I do have a way to adjust my temperature on left and right because this does have dual zone climate control. There is an actual knob to turn the volume up for your eardrums to hear the music. And I do have a shifter that has 6 gears, not 7. And again, I will say that this ball is odd, but these balls are nice to touch. Now, under the shift boot, I do have something that says MT, just letting everybody know that I drive a manual transmission in case they were blind and didn't see these big balls in front of them. Underneath that, I do have 2 buttons, one to close and open up the convertible top, and a button for the wind deflector. Now, I will tell you, wind deflectors are amazing when you're going high speed. Under low speed, I would probably put them down because sometimes I notice that they create wind and not stop the wind. Next to that, I do have 3 increments of heated seats for me, the driver, and the passenger. And then I have a cup holder, an electromechanical parking brake. And then when I do lift up the center console, I do have a wireless charger with 2 USB-Cs. One is charging the phone, which is also doing the CarPlay, and the other is charging the drone because I've lost it about 5 times today.
Now, an important piece to show you guys is how the roof goes up and down. So let me jump in and demonstrate. And then you got these 2 little windows in the back and then the 2 main windows that go up. And that's that. Here I am revving the car inside the cabin to show you guys how it sounds when I'm revving it inside. I will put in Sport Plus, and here we go. And let's compare that to the outside. Normally when I film these things around 3 or so, because we started like 7:30 in the morning, I'm kind of beat, but not in this. This is just like, it just gives you and gives you and gives you enjoyment. And I smashed my finger as I was bringing the drone down. I was bringing the drone down, I put my finger on, boop, this thing hurts like crazy. Ugh. Anyways, the excitement that this brings me, man, is just so good, so good. It's just the prices of these things now are just getting more and more expensive. I just want things to be a little bit cheaper or make more money. That's usually the case in life. But man, at this point in all of our lives, things are just getting so out of control that it's just not fun anymore. Like, the fun is so far away that, I mean, how much does one person have to hustle to like afford fun things in this world? Or sacrifice, I guess. Maybe that's just life, and that's just the way it goes. Maybe I'm getting old, I'm not sure. But one way or another, thanks for joining me on this Carrera T review. We've got a lot of exciting things coming up. I got a lot of cool cars in the pipeline. The excitement is back on Accelerate, and so is this drone doing its whole thing. Anyways, do you guys like this like drone moving left and right? Let me know, because it doesn't really bother me. Just kind of maybe annoying for you guys to watch this left and right stuff. So I want to give a big shout out to Porsche for bringing me to San Diego to drive this all new Carrera S and Carrera T. Yes, I had the coupe in the S, and yes, I had the convertible in the T. Let me know what you guys would buy. Would you buy the, oh my God, there's so many choices. Like, where do you stop, where do you start? But if you want manual, you only got this. If you want automatic, well, you got tons of choices, AKA PDK. Anyways, thanks for watching. And as always, we'll see you on the next one.